Hi guys, welcome to my channel and thanks for clicking on this video. As you can tell from the title of this video today, it's some serious stuff. It's some deep talk, TED talk, sisterly love. Actually, it's more of sisterly love because I've been dreading to do this video for the longest time, and of late I just kept feeling like perhaps there's someone out there who needs to hear this message, so I need to share it. If you're like me, very kind, very considerate, an easygoing person, an easy flowing person, someone might describe me as having the nice girl syndrome. I don't know if you've ever heard of such a thing, but there's something called a nice girl or nice person syndrome, if I can put it like that. So your character is just always being nice. You're always nice to other people, always trying to help where you can, always trying to be there where you can, and as a result just keep giving. Not that there's anything wrong with giving, but then we need to give with boundaries and limits, because takers don't have boundaries. Takers never say no. Takers never run out of things to ask for or run out of things to that they need. So I decided to do this video about guarding your heart and guarding your space, because I felt like, yes, sometimes our friends or relatives might tell us that do 1 2 3, but we tend to ignore it because it's people that we know, and we think, nah man, your advice is biased and stuff like that. And I'm here to remind you that some of us have gone through certain things that have caused us so much pain, that we had to be the sacrificial lambs so that you guys don't have to go through that sacrifice. And we've gone through it. Why not express it so that someone out there can quickly pick up the signs or the red flags, or change your life around. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is overthinking. I struggle with overthinking. It's something I battle with every day. I do my best not to overthink about something that happened at the shop, or let's say someone pressed your buttons and then you retaliated and you said certain things, and then when you get back home you're just overthinking about it, replaying it in your head, replaying what someone said, what someone didn't say, what someone did, or what someone didn't do. It takes away our time. It takes away your joy at the moment. It takes away so much from what you're supposed to be doing, because in most cases you find that you had things to do later that day, but then you just no longer have the energy for it because you're just overthinking about what happened. And sometimes we also tend to want to go back and do things differently, and unfortunately we can't, and you're just too hard on yourself. I struggle because I can even go to sleep or fail to go to sleep because I'm just replaying and wish I could go back and say things differently, or I could go back and not have a harsh voice, or not be mean, and stuff like that. We do our best, but sometimes things just get the best out of us, and I need you to understand that it's okay. We can't go back in time, but we can try and do better. But the most important thing is to forgive yourself. And if you're someone who's prayerful, just ask God to make the other person forgive you as well. If this is in a case where you feel like maybe you wronged someone and there's no way that you can meet that person again, but try not to be too hard on yourself. It doesn't help. It wastes time, and we all human beings, we all make mistakes. One thing I've started doing to help me with that is to do things that I love or things that make me happy. So I would either play music and dance my ass off, or play music and sing along, or watch a sermon, and that reminds me of God's unconditional love, of God's forgiveness and God's kindness. And it also reminds me that I'm human. As long as I don't go out there making mistakes intentionally, or being harsh, or being rude to people, then I can go to God to ask for forgiveness and to ask that God helps the other party understand that it wasn't my intention to hurt or to harm or to be rude, or whatever the case might be. The second thing I'm going to talk about is self-patience. Self-patience. Funny enough, we are patient with everyone else. We are patient with our partners. We are patient with our colleagues, our relatives, but we're not patient with ourselves. If it's pain that we're going through, you feel like it really needs to end today. Why me? Why am I going through this pain? Why is this happening to me? Why should I go through the long route or the long process? You see other people achieving things quickly, talking about, oh, I had this on my vision board and it's happening, and then you're just there like, and then me? What about me? When is it gonna happen for me? God, are you even listening? Are you even there? Is the universe even on my side? Are people even noticing my hard work, my commitments, my dedication? Where is the reward for the hard work, the dedication? And I'm here to remind you that you need to be patient with yourself. If it's something you're battling with, if it's an addiction you're battling with, be patient with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you being hard on yourself doesn't ease the situation. It doesn't help anything. You're already going through something that's breaking your heart, that's taking away strength from you, and then now you want to be your greatest enemy on top of that. Because at the end of the day, there is no one who's going to come for us other than ourselves. There is no one who's going to save us other than ourselves. So you need to practice being patient with yourself. If it's losing weight, like me, I always say that I'll try this diet today. My friends are even tired now. But I have a particular friend that's very patient because she understands that things will happen when they need to happen. As long as there is a will for you to do it, it will happen. It takes time. Some things might take time, some things might not take time, but you need to understand that you need to go through the process, because through the process, that's when you discover certain things about yourself, about the situation, and that's when you equip yourself with better courage, better wisdom, better knowledge, so that you're never in the same position that you were in the first place again. There is no person that will be more patient with you than yourself, and there is no person that is going to love you more than you love yourself. So the same energy that you give others, the same love that you give others, multiplied by 3 and give it back to yourself. Yes, it's easier said than done, but we just need to try. This needs to be a daily reminder to yourself that I need to be patient with myself. I need to love myself first before I love others, because honestly, people are selfish. People are selfish, and we live in a time where people are not even ashamed anymore to be selfish. They just, like I said, takers keep taking, and if you're a giver, you just keep giving. So just be cautious with that and understand that things will move. As long as you are willing for them to move, they'll eventually move. What I always tell myself when I'm feeling stuck, I'll say, if the mind is willing, the body will follow. Like they say, everything happens in the mind. So if you're going to train your mind to think better, to see better, to acknowledge better, and to acknowledge that we're all human beings, we make mistakes, we fall short here and there, but then that doesn't mean that we're evil, or that doesn't mean that we're malicious. I mean, some other people are psychos and they just, but we need to understand that not everything is always what it seems. So you might greet someone and then they don't greet you back and you think the hell, or you might see someone behaving in a certain way and you think it's ABC, and that's not entirely the case. So be patient with yourself the same way that you're patient with others. The third thing is guarding your space. Here there is no negotiations, there are no compromises. Because trust me, you know what's best for you more than your mother, more than your father, more than your partner or your sisters, colleagues, or whomever it may be. If there's something that my therapist told me was, I need to be so strict with whom I allow into my space so that I do not have to do damage control later on in life. And that hit home because sometimes, because you're a very kind person or a sweet person, like for myself, I'm very charismatic, I'm always laughing, it's easy for people to relate with me, it's easy for people to enter into my space. And because I see the best in everyone, sometimes I miss the red flags, you know. And then later on, that's when you realize, oh shucks, this is not what I want, I don't need these energies in my life and stuff like that. Or sometimes you end up overcompensating, you know, because the other party is not coming to the party. So you feel like if you overcompensate, someone will pick it up or someone will understand. But with this video, I hope that you get this and you get this clearly. Be strict with whom you allow in your space. People don't vibe with people, okay? People need to be what you set out for your life. So if you said that you're only needing kind people in your life, you need prayerful people, you need whatever the reason may be, we know what's best for us. I'm not going to say that those that think ABC is right are wrong or stuff like that, but we know what we need in our lives. So if you're a party person, you can't associate with people who don't go to parties. I mean, that's a clash. You know, so you would want to go to a party and have fun, and then someone will tell you, nah man, I don't want to do that. So that's a clash. So the whole point I'm trying to say is, stick with people who have the same values as you, the same belief system as you, the same energy as you. Because sometimes we drown ourselves in situations that we shouldn't even be in the first place, and that is because we fail to have the best support system that we could get. And the best support system will come from the people that have the same values as you, the same belief systems as you, etc., etc. The last thing is expectations. It's something that I struggle with, because most times I'll be like, why can't people reason the same way as I do? And sometimes it's common things, you know, it's common sense, and you're like, that is common sense. If you're an adult, you should be able to think like this. But then remember, not everyone is like you. Not everyone was raised you know, in the same environment, by the same parents, by the same logic, by the same way of thinking. And it's ironic that I'm telling you this now, because I struggle with this. Despite me giving you this advice and despite me knowing how true this is, I still struggle with it. And this is to show, or this is to remind you, you know, this goes back to self-care and being patient with yourself, to understand that yes, sometimes we fall short, but then that doesn't mean that we don't know what to do, or we don't know how to change things in our life, especially in our lives, because that's where we have control. But if you're going to have high expectations of people, yeah, you're just going to be disappointed all the time. One crucial thing I learned, which I'm going to share now, is that always treat people according to their capabilities. So you know that there's this friend that I can talk to about ABC, there's that relative that I can talk to about XYZ and stuff like that. But because we're human, and because, you know, someone is your friend or someone is your partner, you think they will fill up everything, fill up every void. If you have this particular problem, they should be able to help. And sometimes, you know, we can't even blame them. It's just not who they are. They also fall short. But if we assess and knew who is in our space, you'll always be certain that, okay, if I call Tlangi can help me with this. If I call John can help me with this. You know, if I call Peter, for some reason I thought of Peter because I remember John and Peter in the Bible. But and also I have colleagues called John and Peter. So anyway, you get the point. So you need to only expect certain things from people that have proven that they can do those things. And this helps you guard your heart, because you're not going to be disappointed. I mean, even the ones that you know that can fulfill something can still disappoint you, but it's better than expecting something from someone who has no capability or ability whatsoever to perform that task that you expect from them. And another thing is, you see a situation and you're like, I would have reacted differently, I would have done things differently, but then the other person is not you. They don't think like you. They don't have whatever it is that you have, the talent, the gift, the spirit that is in you that makes you see things differently or see things better. You know, so some people are just out there to frustrate you. That's their goal, and they really get happy when they see that they've achieved that goal. Or try to find new ways of doing things better, trying to find new ways of doing things which will be fulfilling and enriching to you first. To you first. Not because it will satisfy your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your parents, but it will satisfy you. As long as it's not causing harm to any other person, or you're not being emotionally manipulative to any other person, but these are things that can be well justified in society, then pick yourself first. Pick yourself first. And it's okay to change decisions or have a change of heart. Just communicate it. Communicate, please. Communicate. Because sometimes you agree to do something, but then when the day comes, you just don't have the energy. You're drained, but you still drag yourself. And I do this all the time. I'm guilty of this. I will still drag myself because I feel bad. I feel guilty. I'm like, but I promised, you know. And then if the tables were turned, the same people will drop you and not even give you a valid reason. So it goes back to show you that people will always choose themselves. If you feel guilty for choosing yourself, trust me, there is no need. Because everyone else, human beings are just like that. We're just selfish beings. And if you're like me, you're overcaring, sweet and stuff like that, it just multiplies. It just multiplies because people know, people can see it, and people end up taking advantage. So I hope that you're really going to take this in, assess whatever is happening in your life, in your space, remove dead weight, please, dead plants, and only leave things that will grow, leave things that will be nurturing, and leave things that will be fulfilling. So now I'm going to show you some of the things I do as part of training my brain or training my mind to think positively and to remind myself of my worth each and every day. This is my closet, as you can see, with the handles over there, and then I've just stuck words of affirmation, words that I need to remember each and every day, Bible verses that I live by. So starting here, so this is more of relationships. I am the prize, the treasure, and I should be handled with care, respect, grace, and delicate love. This, I know that I'm capable of giving, hence I also expect it from others. And then here we go. It's a brand new day. Read and revise your vision list and standards list. Also, be kind to yourself. I'm a firm believer and advocate for kindness, and I always remind people that be kind to yourself, be kind to others. This I got from Billy Chapata on Twitter, and it says, lowering my frequency by matching their energy will only leave me at a risk of doing things I do not recognize and attracting things that do not belong to me. Not every situation requires me to be a mirror so that I can be understood. I think that is self-explanatory. What we can see is only a fraction of what will be. Don't settle. This was from Dr. Thermal on Twitter, and yeah, the rest you can read over there. Over here, there is, my self-respect has to be stronger than my feelings, which means that don't put yourself in compromising situations just because your feelings today deceived you. And also, striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where I have not planted. I think this I had got from a sermon. I think it was Pastor Stephen Furtick's, one of his sermons. And this is my favorite Bible verse. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I always remind myself of this whenever I'm feeling low, or I'm feeling down, or I'm feeling like I'm lacking, or why are certain things not happening. I remind myself of that verse, and I'll immediately think of everything else that I have in my life that is going well. And then here's another one. I am worth more than rubies and pearls. So this goes to, in relationships, reminding myself not to be taken for a ride. Then here, to compromise my standard will be like putting a robe over my neck. And most importantly, what we allow persists. If you're going to allow people to disrespect you, it will persist. If you're going to allow, lack of self-love, self-impatience, so many things, so many negative things, or so many toxic things, it will persist. So be careful with that. And then over there, it's just other Bible verses. This is Philippians 10, Philippians 4, Isaiah 1:19, Colossians 4:2, and then here we have Ephesians 6, Ephesians 4, Ephesians 5, Philippians 1, Philippians 3, verse 10. So this is just some of ways that you can incorporate in your, in your space to create new energy, or to create a new trend, or to create a new vibe, so that you never forget your worth, you never forget who you are, your abilities, guarding your space, which is very, very important. Thanks for watching this video. I sincerely hope that it has been helpful and it has reached someone out there, and it has made you want to reassess what's going on in your life, who's in your space, and make better decisions for yourself. Do take care, stay home, much love, bye bye.